What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Opendoor's up 17.86%, 214 the low, 257 the high, and 211 million shares being traded. 282 is the average. So a couple of things that's really moving Opendoor higher today. One is what they put out after hours on Friday about them obtaining NASDAQ compliance through bid price, and they did it naturally without doing reverse stock split. And then speaking of, I guess, reverse stock split, they did fully cancel their special meeting of shareholders or stockholders. So at the end of the day, that is very good. I know when I first did a couple of videos for Opendoor, a lot of retail was like, hey, they're going to kind of do it naturally. They're going to cancel the shareholder meeting. Was a little bit far-fetched, to be fully honest. And yeah, it turns out that's exactly how it played out. So round of applause to any retail that actually did stick to that mentality, because it definitely did pay off. Aside from that, though, you also have a certain level of FOMO. So they do have the earnings coming out tomorrow after hours. Current estimates, -2 cents for the earnings per share, 1.5 billion for the revenue. Over the last 90 days, 5 positive and 0 negative revisions to the earnings per share. So this is actually the most optimistic analysts have been going into an earnings in quite some time. But to give you a little bit more of a deeper dive, so that -3 cents does work out to be 76.1% year-over-year growth, -4 cents the low, -2 the high, and then for the revenue, you have that 1.5 billion pretty much being flat year-over-year. Low end 1.47, high end of 1.53. Through the options though, this is where it gets insane because you do have a implied move of 22.94%. So almost like a 50 cent or 56 cent move in either direction. And given the fact that shorts are very overextended, this is where you could potentially have a very nice squeeze. Last earnings, the market did actually interpret their earnings as positive, so it went up 24.36% just in that one day. So that could potentially happen once again, so just be aware of that. But as far as today, surprisingly enough, even though it's up like 20%, shorts are not the reason. So they are increasing 236,000 shares, 28.96% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 189.8 million shares overall are being shorted. So as I mentioned, shorts are very overextended. So if they do have a good earnings, then yeah, things could get very real very fast. As far as what caused this little blip right here, that was attributed to shorts. So they did increase roughly around 7.8 million shares first thing. So that's what they typically do with Opendoor. They just hit it hard first just to kind of kill any momentum. But luckily enough, big money did continue to buy. Right now, 13 million in calls, 2.67 million in puts. 57% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So big money definitely still does feel more upside is coming. From the bull standpoint, there's a consensus for it to be kind of around that $3.50 to $4 range. And then bears for it to be sub $1.50. So a lot of volatility. That's kind of the moral of the story. A lot of big transactions occurring on the dark pool, a lot of which is linked to shorts as well as hedge funds. So a lot of big transactions, as you can kind of see. Nothing really significant over 1 million that I can kind of see for face value. So a lot of smaller transactions with it though at 246, trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 258 is going to be that key kind of breakout point. Kind of bounced off of that, so 257 so far has been the high, so just watch for that in the next couple of trading days. And then 222 is going to be the next strong support. Aside from all that fun stuff, things are actually looking pretty a-okay on the actual chart. Things are right now above the ALMA, so it shows another sign that it wants to break out. But aside from that, it's actually because of all the kind of consolidation that's been happening, it is very oversold. So that could really stand to benefit it going into the next couple trading days. So this is a very quick summary of exactly what's affecting Opendoor in a positive way. Again, for those of you that believe that Opendoor is a squeeze play, it's still technically on the table. So let me know your thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point, including I even did one for Opendoor and kind of called exactly the parameters where it did trade today. So definitely worthwhile to kind of pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.